Welcome back to the dojo, y'all. Welcome back to the daily discussions. I am your host, Professor Hog Sensei, and I'm glad you can make it. I'm glad you're tuning in, right? The topic of discussion for today: ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You may know what this means, you may not. It's biblical. You know I like the Bible. It's basically saying, we came from the ashes. Man was created from the dust of the earth. And from the dust we shall return. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I wanted to bring this topic to you today to remind you that one day we will go. I know this may be somewhat morbid, but there's a bright side to this. Trust me. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Naked came I into the world, naked shall I return. Remember that your life is in between 2 points. It's in between the beginning and it's in between the end. You don't know exactly where you are in your life, but you're always somewhere in the middle. Unless you can feel that you're in the latter portion, or you can feel that you may not have much time. Ultimately, we all have a finite amount of time here. I want you to remember that. And because of that, be grateful. Because could you imagine how sorrowful you would be if you lived forever? How sorrowful you would be if you could never leave this place. As wretched and twisted and as corrupt as this world has become, I think at some point we all just get tired of the whole living thing. I am not in any way trying to promote self-harm. But you gotta admit, we get tired of a lot of things. And I'm sure a lot of us can get tired of life. But it should only be after you've done all the things that you've dreamt of doing. You've reached for all the things that you've wanted to grasp. You've experienced all of the things that you wanted to experience. And then after you've done all of that, you can pass on your knowledge, your wisdom, your legacy, your fortune, or whatever, and pass on with a feeling of completion because you lived a full life and you enjoyed it the best you could. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So every day, remember that you're here, that you're breathing, that you have an opportunity to experience love, life, friendship, all in the middle. Everything is in the middle. You know, when we're kids, we're so much in a rush to grow up. And then when you become an adult, you're like, man, I wish I could be a kid again. Because you had ashes to ashes, dust to dust on a small scale. When you were young, all you could really see and admire was what the adults could do. It seemed as though they didn't have to answer to anyone. It seemed as though the world was their oyster. They could do whatever they wanted. Oh, how blissfully ignorant we can be as children. Oh, yes. But ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It should really be a celebration. It should truly be a celebration. Because this life that we live, we only get one. And I believe wholeheartedly that you should be able to enjoy the majority of it. However, you can find your enjoyment, however, you can obtain your enjoyment. As long as it's not hurting anyone, offending anyone, or making someone's life worse, I think you'll be alright. Whatever it is, you gotta remember, we're not here for very long. So we should enjoy life the best we can. Your perspective or your terminology or viewpoint, even understanding of enjoyment, can be anything. It is not up for the world to decide for you how you want to live or what can be considered enjoyment. The beauty of life is we get to decide that. We get to decide how we live. Even if it may not seem like or feel like we can do everything we want, if we can at least do some of the things that we want, I think that makes it all worthwhile. Maybe there are some things that we don't really need to do. We might want to do them, but we don't really need to. There's never a need for us to do that because no good will come from it. But all in all, ash to ashes, dust to dust, we are only here for a brief moment. So in your brief moment, I want you to have the greatest experiences you can have with your friends, with your loved ones, in your solitude, and even in your problems. Because a good friend of mine that I recently was talking to, he said there is such a thing as good problems. And I said, wow, I never really looked at it like that. I always assumed problems were always bad. But you know how you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like going to work? That's a good problem. Literally, that's a good problem to have. Oh, I don't feel like going to work today. There's so many people out there who wish they had a job. And you get to say, oh, I don't feel like going to work. That's a good problem. You know, just to draw a mark of distinction. You know? I think all too often we get caught up in the material aspect of life and society, to whereas we can't enjoy the humanity aspect. We can't enjoy interacting with one another. And I know it's partially because society makes you think that wealth and fame and material things are the most important things, but you can't buy love, yet everybody's searching for it. You can't buy it. You can't. It's truly a gift that is given to you. True love, unconditional love. So, reconsider the value you place on material things and understand the priceless value that we have for all of the things that were gifted to us, such as our health, such as our insight, our wisdom, our intuition, our family, our gifts and talents, our callings. We should be thankful for all of these things that we have in the midst of our ashes and ashes, dust to dust experience. It is imperative that you get the maximum amount of enjoyment out of your life the right way, Because you want to look back over your life and say, man, that was good. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. That's the kind of life you want to live. One where you have no regrets. One where you got to experience just about everything you set out to do. One where you experience true love. You know? That's why they say it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Because this life thing that we're living, it's all about the experience. It's all about the experience. Are you having a good experience? Or are you having a bad experience? For the most part. Life truly is a gift. A lot of us never get to enjoy. And I believe the main reason for that is because of the mentality, because of the conditioning, because of the need for currency. We're all led to run on a treadmill. The longer we go without understanding how money actually works. But if you never figure out how money works, or you never get a big windfall, remember to enjoy what you can. Because we're not here for long. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If you can't tell, I'm in a good mood. I had a good day today. And in all honesty, I appreciate life. I'm happy. I don't have everything that I want, but I most certainly have everything that I need. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. If I had to say goodbye to the world today, would I be happy? No, I wouldn't. But I would be glad that I had an overall good experience when it came to life. That's the whole thing. Are you enjoying your experience? If not, I think you need a whole new situation. I think you need to start to change something. Maybe talk to some new people, or maybe talk to some old people. Who knows? All I know is one day we won't be here. So we need to enjoy this thing the best we can. So with that being said, Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei, bid you adieu. Hope you're waking up every day with a plan and a purpose and a smile. If you're not waking up with a plan, a purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up. Till next time, guys. Class dismissed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.